Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our show. This is your host, Keith Doherty. Today our special guest is top real estate agent Rochelle Maize of Nourmand Associates based out of Beverly Hills, California. Rochelle has sold some of the city's most prestigious properties, ranging from luxury mansions in Beverly Hills to beachfront properties in Malibu. Her knowledge of local trends and luxury inventory, paired with her professionalism and unrelenting work ethic, has allowed her to quickly become one of the top-ranking agents in the country. An expert in luxury real estate, Rochelle is viewed as an honest and passionate professional with an unwavering desire to make her clients' real estate dreams come true. Today she serves as the Executive Director of the Luxury Estates Division at Nourmand Associates. Over the last 12 months, she has sold over $150 million, prompting the Wall Street Journal to recognize her as one of the top brokers in the country. All right, with all that said, Rochelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Rochelle, if we could start for our listeners, what led you into real estate? Was it something that you always knew you wanted to do, or did you maybe stumble into it?
Well, I came into real estate after a successful career in wealth management. I was a senior vice president of a well-known firm here locally in Beverly Hills, and I did a lot of advising of very high net worth clients, helping them with their investment needs. And when I realized I was ready for a change and a new challenge, real estate has always piqued my interest. And as an investor myself, I've had a lot of experience buying and selling properties. So transitioning into the real estate industry as a realtor was actually relatively easy. And from the start, people were really impressed because I had such a strong wealth management background, and they liked the way that I was approaching the market. Then kind of became the decision to brand myself as a luxury specialist, and that was an obvious one. And Rochelle Maize Luxury Estates was born.
Excellent. And can you talk a little bit about what personal attributes, traits, or qualities you think have most contributed to the success that you've had in real estate?
There are a few, and that's a really good question. I would say number one is integrity. In our industry, it's paramount. And I kind of always go with the rule, treat other people like you want to be treated, and do a deal like you'd want somebody else to do it with you. Strong believer in what goes around comes around and karma, and I just run my life and my business in that way. The other attribute that I think is very important or important to me is persistence and hard work. Real estate is very competitive. Our industry is extremely competitive, and a lot of people think it's just glamorous and easy, and it's actually, there's a lot of hard work and a lot of research involved with it. So I am not scared to work hard or long or basically doing whatever I need to do to either get that information and feel comfortable being able to recommend a specific property for a person or do the right pricing on a listing. So I would say persistence, hard work, integrity, honesty.
Well, excellent. Rochelle, do you think you could give our listeners an example of when these traits have played a role in your path towards success?
Definitely. I would say the standout deal that this was very important and secured the deal would be a transaction that happened last year. And one of my largest clients that was involved with a 1031 exchange, and they were in the process of buying a large commercial building. In the 11th hour, they decided not to buy that building, and they had to place $30 million in the residential real estate market and had 2 days to identify a property. And this is huge. And they had every luxury real estate agent in the city pitching them properties. I spent days straight, I don't think I slept, trying to find the right property for this client, calling anyone and everyone I knew and trying to find something that was not on the market that could fit and work well for this situation. Long story short, I found it, took the client to the property, and within 2 days was in escrow and transacted one of the largest transactions in Beverly Hills last year with the purchase of the Danny DeVito estate for my client.
Excellent. And just for our listeners to clarify, a 1031 in real estate is when an investor or a company can take the gains from a sale of a property and they can basically roll them over into a new purchase, which, like you said, you're running out of time without having to pay a capital gains tax. Is that correct for me to?
Yes, that is correct. And they have a limited time to identify 3 properties and then a specific time period where they would have to close. So we were going against the time frame to identify, and they had to feel very comfortable with one of the 3 properties that they're identifying they're closing, or they would have a huge tax obligation of a property that they had just sold close to the same amount. So there was a lot of pressure on because of that.
Excellent. Yeah, and we're not talking about, like you said, a small thing. You're talking in the millions of dollars here. So it would have been a huge impact, I imagine, from a tax liability standpoint if they couldn't have rolled that over.
Definitely.
So that could be very stressful, I imagine, on your part to try to have to fulfill that obligation for them. But that's great that it all worked out.
It did, and it was exciting as well. The whole deal, putting the whole deal together, and the way it laid out and came together was magical, and just knowing that I was the one that transacted that and brought it, the fruits of the labor actually paid off, and was so exciting for me, and that just gave me so much energy to continue at that level.
Excellent. Well, Rochelle, obviously when it comes to success, it's always not a smooth road to get there for a lot of people. A lot of times they run into obstacles and things like that. So can you talk a little bit about maybe some of the adversities or trials that you had to overcome in order to achieve your goals and have the success that you've had in real estate?
Sure. I think mostly in the luxury market, it's proving yourself and selling yourself and your name. It's been very difficult. It was very difficult competing with some of the bigger names without having that track record and constantly trying to prove myself. So I would go on a lot of listing appointments and try for a number of different listings for quite some time and not achieve them, and would have to really prove myself to be able to get to that level. So it was a lot of work, a lot of research and a lot of times for nothing. I would get maybe 1 out of 10 until I had that one giant sell, and that would put me on the map for people to really start paying attention and listen to me. And so once I had a few under my belt, it became much easier to win over the larger listings and go into the luxury real estate market full force.
Excellent. And what kept you going despite these obstacles? Why didn't you give up? What was your driving passion, your driving force?
I actually absolutely love what I do. I live, eat, and breathe it. It's fascinating to me. I wake up every morning very early. I can do research. I'm extremely passionate about it, and it's just something I love. I never thought that I would find a career that I would love more than my first in wealth management and commodity trading. And over the last 3 years, when I transitioned and formed Rochelle Maize Luxury Estates and now actually have a team, it's infectious. It's the more time I spend, the more I love it. And what's so interesting to me is everywhere you go, everyone knows something about real estate or is interested. So when I'm at the gym playing tennis, at a cocktail party, everybody wants to talk about real estate. So it's fun. It's just fun. So I love that, and I actually really enjoy mentoring people. So in the last 2 years, I have expanded my team, and it's been a lot of fun bringing some of the younger kids in and teaching them and mentoring them and seeing what they can do.
Excellent. And I guess kind of looking forward, what's your vision for your career and your business say, over the next 5 years?
My vision is to grow the business and have an even bigger name in the luxury real estate area and grow my team. I would like to establish a bigger presence and work with more people, mentor more people, and try and take on a little bit more of the high-end market. I'm also very passionate about giving back. It's another very important part of my business, and I'm very, very tied into Give Back Homes. So any transaction that I do, I donate funds to Give Back Homes, which actually builds homes for people that don't have any money. And I would love to get more involved with that and eventually have more time to help other people. So it's kind of a means to an end.
Excellent. Well, kind of on top of that, Rochelle, what do you feel is the best way you market yourself as a real estate professional so that you can have continual growth?
Great question. There's a few things. One is referrals. Referrals are the best resource. Somebody saying, oh my God, you have to hire Rochelle Maize. She just sold my house and she got me over asking. A referral is the best way. Second to that, social media. The real estate industry has changed so much in the last 5 years, and social media, the marketing has taken on a whole new level. So you have to really be on top of social media, networking, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I do it all, and it changes all the time. I embrace it. I love the marketing aspect of our business, and I believe that it will go more and more and more digital and not so much print. I still do print advertising. It's a very important part of my marketing, but I think that you'll see more and more of the industry go digital. I'm very innovative in my marketing, and I was one of the first agents years ago to start having food trucks at my open houses. So I would pay for food trucks to come. I'd advertise it. Hundreds of brokers would come to the open houses. So like, why are you doing this? Why are you paying for this? And it goes back to karma, giving something to people. And what happened was a lot of agents always come to my open houses now because they know I have great food. I'll have a food truck. I'll have different things. And deals are made outside the door of the house with people just hanging out there. And that's a good feeling to know that you're doing something, you're creating an environment that people love to be in. They're doing deals outside. I'm selling the house. It's all good.
Yeah, no, I love that because like you said, you could just do a standard open house. Like, I've seen them in the past where you go and there's a plate of cookies and a bottle of water or something simple on a table inside, but to have that food truck, it makes you different. You're standing out, they're like, oh yeah, she's the one that does the food trucks, we can't miss this. And like you said, they're going to see the house, and they may not have came, but now they might have somebody in mind for it. Or like you said, you just stand there talking, and next thing you know, they're like, oh, I got this other thing, or I have this, and like you said, a deal comes out of it just because of the communication and people being together versus and it all because you hired a food truck to be there and made yourself stand out and be different.
Exactly. And actually, a year ago, I invested in the food truck business and have my own food truck now. So it's kind of gone full circle. I have a grilled cheese truck called Rich Cheese, and that's used at a lot of my open houses, and a lot of other agents now use it, and it's gone all over Los Angeles. So it's, again, what you put out there, you get back. So it's been a fun, innovative way for me to market. The other thing I would say is in your Instagramming and your hashtags, YouTube, all that. My famous hashtag is hashtag 9021row, which is with my name, and I specialize in Beverly Hills. So it's become kind of popular.
And I think sometimes when it comes to real estate agents, there's a certain perception from the market standpoint when people look at agents and what they think they bring to the table and what they can do. So what do you think the biggest misconception or myth people have about working with a real estate agent is?
The biggest misconception?
Yes. Let's say we'll take it from a seller standpoint. What do you think? I think a lot of sellers might think that, I'll just put a sign up and, I'll sell my house. It's easy. An agent's not going to really bring too much to the table and do too much for me. So what do you think that misconception is that a seller may have about working with an agent?
Oh, I think it's a big misconception to think that they could just hire anyone and put a sign in front of their house. I think that it's important to find the right agent because it is actually a lot of hard work in marketing the property correctly and knowing where to market the property. So the marketing of it, the marketing plan, knowing where to do it, what to do is extremely important, especially when you're dealing with the high-end market and the people that you need to communicate with. It has become global. So you have all the foreign buyers that you need to be able to reach out to. You need those resources. You have, Chinese buyers. They're completely different social media platforms in China than here. You can't use Snapchat and Instagram and these different social media tools that we have here. They're completely different. They're specific to those countries. So you need to know that. You need to know which farms to go in for which countries, and you want to deal with somebody that has that knowledge.
Excellent. Let's say you get a call from a family member or a friend, and they're in another state, and they want to sell their home, and they're calling you for advice. So what advice would you give them about selecting an agent that could best serve their needs, kind of how you make sure you take care of your clients? And I understand, obviously, you could look people up and do referrals, but from a general standpoint, what would be some advice you'd give them for things to look for in selecting an agent?
I would get a referral from a friend locally. I think it's important to know that they've dealt with this person and there's some integrity. Anyone can Google a person now and obviously find out who they are and their style or their bio. But I think it's most important if they can have somebody speak for them and they have that type of referral.
All right, excellent. Well, Rochelle, if somebody's looking for a real estate agent or real estate services in the Beverly Hills, California area, what's the best way they can find out more information about you and how you can help them?
The best way would be to go onto my website, rochellemaize.com. There's a lot of information there. Somebody could Google me. There's a lot of information about what I've done and projects and charitable work and big transactions. Or Instagram, Rochelle Maize Luxury Estate. Any of those will tie you right back into me and love to talk to you.
Excellent. Well, Rochelle, we obviously want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come here and share all of your professional real estate experience with our listeners. And if you want to learn more about Rochelle, obviously you can go to her website, like she said, rochellemaize.com, or actually below this interview we'll have a link to her site and any other contact information we have so that you can go ahead and get more information and see if you guys would be a good fit to work together. So with all that said, everybody, until our next show, have a great day and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.